Normally, whenever I'm on public transport, I'm always miserable.
Yeah.
It sucks. But fun and joy.
You got the wrong kind of neurodivergence.
What do I have?
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm bloody angry. I'm sitting there. I need autism.
Yeah,
then I'll enjoy it.
I wonder if you can like re-skill like in a skill tree, like in a game.
Yeah, probably have to reach a checkpoint first.
Yeah.
Before you can do that. You can't just do it straight away.
I'd like to go into autism. I'd like to spec in autism. Hello.
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 Hello, everybody. How you going?
Oh yeah.
How you going?
You reckon that's genetic?
I think
The
so.
noise?
I just naturally say it as well. How you going?
So we have given Alex revolutionary surgery. As you know, last month we made $100 on Twitch, and that's enough to get Alex the kind of cosmetic procedures he's wanted: hair transplant,
Yep.
facelift.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I've always wanted to look about 7 years younger.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted facial hair.
Yeah. And
I'm
you always
pretty
wanted
happy.
a bigger dick.
Oh man, and I can't complain now. No one's complaining now.
So Alex is currently in New Zealand. It was a really strange setup because, like, I thought he just needed a holiday. I thought he was going to go on a holiday, but it turns out he kind of thinks he's like the foreign correspondent for Boy Boy now. I think he went there for streaming.
Yep.
He thinks like something big's going down in New Zealand, and he's going to be there to like to break the news for us.
I don't know why he thinks something's going to happen in New Zealand. What happens in New Zealand?
I mean, there was Brenton Tarrant.
Brenton Tarrant and Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings.
That's the only things New Zealand has ever done that has made the news.
But Lord of the Rings isn't even breaking news. Like, that took ages.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And the other thing, I guess they had a nice prime minister. Everyone liked how nice their Jacinda Ardern or whatever.
Yeah, she's
that
cool.
was always in the news about how nice she was. She's really, really nice.
Okay. But we do have some breaking news from Alex.
Yep.
Let's wait. Where am I? So he's actually been reporting from New Zealand for a bit now. He's
just doing this himself.
Hello. This is Boy Boy, the forest correspondent. I'm in New Zealand. If there's any breaking news, I'll cover it. But I don't think I'll be able to connect to the stream today. As you can tell, the weather's a little bit bad, and I've got frostbite in my fingers. Good luck with the stream though, Alexa.
Wait. What is this? What is this?
What?
There's no good luck for Lucas.
Good luck, Alexa. Good luck, Alexa.
Am I the only guy here?
I told you, he's a selfish cheapskate.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried for him though, because he sent like he doesn't deserve to die in the snow.
No, definitely not deserve.
That might happen.
What does he deserve? He does deserve some sort of misfortune, but just not death.
Yeah, I think he should be like stuck in a crevasse for an extended
I
period.
thought you
of
were going
time.
to say cravat.
Yeah, he would hate that.
Oh, he hates fashion.
He hates
He
clothes.
hates fashionable stuff.
No, I think he'd be stuck in a crevasse, but he was the one who decided to go in there.
Yep. That's something he would do.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so Alex is out in a snowstorm, doing, I guess, what would you call it? Being our foreign correspondent. He hasn't found any news yet, but I got kind of worried because he sent like a second video an hour later.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's see what he's saying to us. It looks considerably worse. But I don't know. Let's see what he has to say.
He's lost his bandana.
Alexa, I know you want me to be a live correspondent, but it's too cold. It's too cold to talk out here.
I find this very strange. I'm not sure what's going on because, like, no one asked him to be live correspondent.
But also, isn't he meant to be snowboarding? What happened to his snowboard?
I don't know.
Why is he just walking around?
I have no idea what's happening. Somebody save him. You guys, is anyone in New Zealand? Can anyone check in on this guy? How many mountains do you guys have?
I think there's a lot.
Oh,
Have you
really?
seen Lord of the Rings?
Oh, true.
There's
There
a
are
lot.
He could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere. It may be a green screen.
Oh, yeah.
It
Wait,
may
Mr. Beast
be a
did a
green
green
screen.
screen? Was Mr. Beast in fake snow? We should get started with our day. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of news to get through.
Yep, always.
And what we generally do here at Boy Official Live, twitch.com live, is that we tend to put the news stories from like most important first.
Yep.
To like whatever kind of funny joke news at the end. Because we kind of just want to cover this properly. We want to break the kind of yoke of, I don't know, I feel like news on the internet is a bit like, what's the word? Unprofessional.
Unprofessional. Well, that's the
derivative.
thing. We're serious news broadcasters. Well,
Yeah.
you are. I'm a trainee stepping in for the first time.
What do they call me? You're a cadet.
I'm a cadet. And what we do know is you always put the most important information at the top.
Yeah.
You go, Trump's been shot. He's fine.
Yeah.
The most important information
yeah,
that people
yeah,
need to know. So that's what we're doing here. And that's why we're talking about, we know you all want to hear about it. What's happening with the Sydney Metro? It's just open today. How's it going?
This is crazy.
It's
We're
crazy.
in this history.
We got a
I went
metro
to sleep
now.
last night. No metro.
No
Woke
metro.
up this morning.
Metro.
There's a metro. Have
you
you
know
ever
it.
had that? Well, I mean, Americans haven't had that before, but like,
No.
you know, it's like it's a pretty crazy feeling.
See, the thing is, we had trains before. There
Yeah.
were trains,
We had lots of trains.
but there was no metro. Now we've finally got a metro.
Now
There's
we've got
all these articles
trains
saying
and a metro.
Sydney is now a modern city because we've got a metro. I'm not even joking. This is literally what they're saying. I don't understand why. Okay, I'm already editorializing. Should we go through the news first?
Oh yeah. Let's just see what has actually happened. Oh, let's go. I think let's hear it from a true aficionado. I feel like you shouldn't listen to journalists talk about trains.
No,
You should listen to
teenagers
or middle-aged men or anyone who films themselves in front of a train, because journalists that's not their day job.
No.
Train talk.
No,
These
train,
guys are here every
train
single
spotters.
day. Yeah.
We should be listening to the train spotters.
Autistic people. Well, I didn't want to say it, but Martin Nash 3 has
Doxed. That's your full name. Got him.
who has 3 in his name. Autism, let's go. Okay. So let's see what has actually happened from the people who care about it the most.
I'm here now at Tallawong Station, enjoying the sunrise just around 1 hour after the first ever metro train left from Sydenham. It was an absolutely incredible ride, full of fun and joy, that really showed what Sydney is capable of moving forward into the future, and what the
I like the fun and joy.
Think fun and joy on a train?
Yeah,
On a metro.
metro.
Normally, whenever I'm on public transport, I'm always miserable.
Yeah.
Sucks. But
Yeah.
fun and joy?
You got the wrong kind of neurodivergence.
What do I have?
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm bloody angry. I'm sitting there. I need autism.
Yeah,
Then I'll
that's the
enjoy
one. I wonder if you can like re-skill like in a skill tree, like in a game.
Yeah, probably have to reach a checkpoint first.
Yeah.
Before you can do that. You can't just do it straight away.
I'd like to go into autism. I'd like to spec in autism.
This BPD's not working. I can't beat any of the bosses.
I like the rage. It's useful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't have very good perception.
Yeah, it's fun. Maybe for the second playthrough,
Yeah.
I'll try BPD again.
BBD's good for Riz though, for charisma.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's all the,
I don't
all the
think so.
sexy girls have BBD.
I don't think so. Not for me.
Okay.
might look like from here on out. This is Jacob Rewington reporting for 10 News First.
Oh, what?
I'm
10
here now.
News?
Wait, this
What?
is so they are okay. So journalists are
This
getting
is
the
a journalist.
This is a journalist.
What? I thought this was 6 News.
No.
10? I don't want fucking 10.
Whoa! I don't want the front page. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the news has changed.
So, the Metro, as you can see here, it's driverless.
There's no
It's
drivers,
the future. That's why we're modern now. There's no drivers.
but it still stops at a time. Like it doesn't run all night.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
initial promise was there's no drivers, so it'll run all the time.
the robot still has to sleep.
Yeah. If we should read through it, or we should just talk about our own understanding of the metro.
Should we explain what the Metro is? Because a lot of you are American, aren't you? You might not know what the metro is.
So the metro is all about gauges. Or
It
spacing.
is a smaller gauge, I think.
So we've got heavy rail, which is just a normal train.
No, it's not train underground. You're all saying train underground.
No.
We already had a train underground.
It's a little trick. I actually got taught this by the station manager of Stuttgart station.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, were you doing the promo job? The buses replace trains as well?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, so we were all there.
I don't think I spoke to the Stuttgart guy.
No, he was just.
I was only there for one day.
So we used to do promo work where we get paid to just like, let's say, go to a train station and hand out flyers and be like, this train line's closed. The buses leave from over there. Here's the timetable. And people generally ignore you.
Yep.
They don't want anything to do with you.
Nope.
So we'd kind of mess around and just start saying anything to them.
Yep.
We'd be like, helicopters replace trains. I'll be like, get back on the...
Mandatory dress codes on Friday.
Yeah. It's so stupid. But no one pays any attention apart from like the old people who really want to talk to you. And we were doing promo for the metro, and this would have been like 7-8 years ago. When
they shut down part of the Sydney train network and they replaced it with buses while they were turning the train network into a metro network.
Which I didn't know what the difference was.
Exactly.
But this German old man from Stuttgart, like storms up to me while I'm being like, buses replace trains, a new metro's coming, it's really exciting. And he's like, this is a travesty. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, you people know nothing about trains. I was the station manager at Stuttgart station. This whole metro thing is completely wrong. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. Well, I mean, it was still fun because it's much better than repeating the same line to people, just hearing what this guy said. But then it turns out he was amazing. Like everything he said was so good and like checks out completely with everything anyone normal.
What did he explain the difference as being?
So he said, I hope you guys are as interested in trains as we are.
Our viewers have gone up, so we're going well.
Yeah, people love the trains. It's all about gauges. Mm-hmm. So you've got normal trains, which is heavy rail, and they're on thicker gauges, and they specialize in longer distances. Yep. They're the most efficient when there's a long space between stops. They're not starting and stopping a lot.
Yep.
Metro, smaller gauges, and they're most efficient when they're starting and stopping a lot, and they're not efficient when they go over long distances. So this guy from Stuttgart was just like, this is really fucked because these metro gauges are on lines that should be heavy rail.
It goes really far. The metro is really not just underneath the city. It goes all the way out, like the kid said, to Tallawong, which is all the way up in the hills. It's very far away.
Yeah. And they're not constantly stopping. It's not like a little circle in the city. It is like a long distance train. And this guy's like, this is so inefficient and dangerous and it's really fucked. And the only reason they're doing it is because heavy rail is heavily unionized.
Yep.
So anyone who works making normal trains and conducting normal trains and everything to do with trains is unionized. So you've got to pay the workers properly, make sure they don't die, like all the just kind of annoying things that businesses don't want to do. But they had a private company that's just like, we could make metro trains, which doesn't have a union yet, or isn't represented by this specific union. And so it doesn't matter how much money you spend on this project and how inefficient it is, you get to avoid paying your workers properly.
Apparently it is more efficient though, because apparently the trains are coming one every 4 minutes. So it is very efficient.
Oh, I mean efficiency as in like resources.
Oh, like, it's just like really fucking expensive to do. Yeah. Well, it was incredibly expensive.
Stopping and starting these trains a lot is good. Because I guess it doesn't take a lot to start them up, but they lose out over the long run.
Yep.
And what we've got is have them going over like long distances.
Well, what I found, they're driverless, and obviously that's one train driver who you're replacing. You're also replacing the guard who normally is standing on the train and is safely checking that the doors open and close and stuff. And the weird thing is, first metro was open from Chatswood to Tallawong.
Yeah.
And there were staff. There were these people in these like teal suits, and they were being all nice. They looked like they were having a wonderful time. They were still there. Now they're gone. On the Chatswood to Tallawong line, there's no staff. But this new metro thing that has opened, there are staff now. So it's almost like
how long they're going to be there.
Exactly. They phase them in. So it's like so that people don't get scared by the fact that you're clearly just trying to get no staff. They go, no, there are staff. But then they're gone.
And then they're gone. And it's also, what's terrifying about it as well is that there are some tracks of this that are just like kilometers of time. Yeah. And what happens if
it goes under the harbour? Yeah.
The train stops, you're underwater. And like someone has to decide, like, I will lead everyone to safety.
Well,
Like,
it already happened. It happened.
Oh,
it happened out in Castle Hill.
but that was on a big bridge, no?
Yeah, it might have been. I forget exactly what
There's a
happened.
scary bridge.
But yeah, it went down, and it means it stops, and they're remote controlled, and there are people overseeing it, but I think they're in Hong Kong overseeing it, and. Yeah, when that happens, there's no trained person who knows how to deal with the situation who could press the button and make an announcement and then start evacuating
And what happens if
people.
you got a disabled person on the train? Like,
just have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourself. You know what you're doing.
Oh my God. But at least they're saving money.
Yeah.
But what's even crazier about this is that I had a friend from university, a guy called Robert, and he became like inadvertently, I guess he wasn't planning to do this. He became a martyr for the anti-metro brigade. So he came straight out of uni and like wanted just like a random kind of like a job while he's like looking for something within the field that he studied for. And Metro was advertising jobs. And he's just like, oh, whatever, I'll do this. But it wasn't like particularly meaningful for his career. He like wanted to do something else. And I think that put him in a very interesting position within Metro because everyone else who was working alongside him were all like trying to feed their families, like super desperate, didn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
He was a student. Oh, you used to be, no, sorry, he'd finished uni, but like, you know, he was in a more comfortable position.
Yep.
This job, you know, he needed a job, but it wasn't that meaningful.
He didn't have like financial responsibilities which he was burdened by.
So he ends up in this crazy trajectory in this company because he's in there and he notices just like people are treating the workers horribly. The contracts are completely fucked. Like no one's covered for anything. And just like dodgy stuff just keeps happening. Like people get laid off when they want to like exercise their rights for like holidays or different things, like all this weird stuff. And so he ends up reaching out to their union.
Yep.
Which is the union that Metro had. I forgot which one it was called. But he starts talking about all these issues, and then the union delegate's like, oh, okay. And then the next day, he just stops getting shifts. And he looks it up eventually. He's like, what is going on? And he noticed anyone who went up to this union delegate would just get iced out. What's happening? And he looked it up, and he found that like the founder of, I don't know which union it was, but owned heaps of shares in Metro. So what they did is they invested in this private rail thing for Metro to avoid unions. But, you know, they obviously had to pretend they had a union. And what they had was a super corrupt union that worked for the Metro.
Yeah.
And so after that, he's like, this is insane. And I guess he, you know, is more comfortable than the other workers. He's able to take this risk. He starts organizing them and trying to get people to sign up to the RTBU, which is like the actual rail union, the thing that Metro was set up to avoid. Like these people who are actually like, you know, more militant, they know what they want, they get good contracts, they're not afraid of going on strike. He starts organizing to get everyone to sign up with them. And he's like, you know, pretty successful. All these people want to sign up. They understand that they're getting fucked by this company. Yeah. And then just before he was meant to like present this thing that he signed, he gets fired. Which is illegal, right? Yeah. Free Rob. That's what I'm saying.
One thing I will say, so people are saying, was it a fake union and stuff like that? I don't know if it's a little bit different how unions in Australia work. There's basically, for most positions, there's one union which can represent you. It's all like the kind of representation and which union represents you in your work. Even if you're not in your union, there's already kind of agreed patches as to where you're covered by. And the RTBU, as far as I know, they mostly cover public sector. So because this is kind of a partially privatized thing, I presume they would have gone into one of the other bigger catch-all unions. Yeah. So it's still
like Australian Professionals Union or
I don't know which union it was, so I don't want to slag them off. But like, yeah, there's these bigger catch-all unions that cover just miscellaneous kind of groups. So that's who was covered. It wasn't a fake union as such. It was just like a larger union which probably didn't have any interest in their things and may have had some connections.
Some corrupt.
The same thing happened down in Victoria. I think they've got some private tram network and it's not covered by, they're not covered by the larger RTBU, but then the members want to be in the RTBU kind of thing. So it's all this,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
fighting
company's
it.
trying so hard to not let them in.
What percentage of Australians are in a union? About 16%, I believe, and that's mostly public service.
That's insane.
Of the private service, I think it's like 8%.
So yeah, it's Metro's open. It's a very sad day for workers' rights in Australia, but a great day for neurodivergent rights. I think some people are very, very excited about this.
Smartest man in the Balkans, you can consider myself one of your homies. Yeah,
What's SDA?
we also the Shoppers Distributive Alliance. They are a union, but they're very, very close with Woolies and Coles and everyone else.
What happened with neurodivergent rights? Didn't you see the news story? They opened a new train. There is a new train, which is very big in my community.
It's good to see that someone's finally doing something for the neurodivergent.
Yeah. The news story is a new train. Okay, I guess that was the most important news.
That's the most important thing.
Let's go into something a bit more trivial and fun. Israel has killed another journalist.
No.
So I think we cover Israel every single day, and it's really hard to not every single day, every single stream, and it's really hard to not get repetitive. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the Israelis should be getting more original with this stuff. They shouldn't put it all on the content creators to try to put a fresh new spin on what they're doing. They should try something new.
What did they do? They killed another
journalist. There's a video of it as well. We're not going to be showing.
It's horrible.
Covering the expanding ground invasion, Khan Yunis.
It was just amazing that they're doing
shooting her in the back.
So all this stuff is going on as the ceasefire talks are happening, and I can't help but wonder. It's like, is this kind of part of the negotiation strategy of like you kind of like you ramp it up as you're negotiating, but of course the other side can't do that either. Although Hezbollah is ramping things up, but it's just like, yeah,
it's so insane. Also, how are you meant to be? How are they doing negotiations with Yahya Sinwar?
Yeah,
he's like hiding because they're trying to shoot him.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that exactly. I don't think anyone actually wants a ceasefire, except maybe the Americans, and they don't want it badly enough to actually do anything about it. So just talk about it while everything keeps going on. But then we move on to the next one now. So it's just like, so I guess
I was going to talk about more in general about how often they kill journalists. I don't know what
138 journalists have now died in this
recent
conflict since October 7.
Yeah.
Something like 90 of those are Palestinians. Got a few Lebanese, some Israeli journalists as well. And it's like, there's something like that. The percentage of journalists who have been killed is higher than the broader population.
Right.
So
they're targeting them.
They're targeting them.
It's so nuts. I remember it's so weird with Israeli aggression in Palestine. It's just like at the start of the invasion, it was like shocking. It was horrible. Like you feel like a husk of a person. Like I'm on Twitter and all I'm seeing is dead babies. Like I'm on Twitter before bed and I go to sleep with like dead children. I wake up with dead children, and like I feel like you slowly get desensitized. And I feel like there's every now and then there's like a little thing that really kind of triggers you and like brings you back into those first days of the conflict. And like one of them for me was watching, I forgot who he was, which I think it was another Al Jazeera journalist finding out live on air that his whole family had been killed. Like there was like these special, so these like, how do I say special? But yeah, these little moments that just like completely rock your world.
They remind you that this is not just like nature ticking on as per usual. This is actually horrific.
Yeah.
What annoys me so much is just like all of us, we all hear about this stuff through the media, and you'd think that the journalists talking about it would have some sort of emotive response to hearing about other journalists being targeted and killed, and just the cowardice of so many of them to just call out the fact that
a bullet had found them from
the way that the journalists themselves are writing about other journalists being killed in this soft, neutral language.
But I also think the reason they're doing that is because they're not the same. They know that they're not going to be in that position because they're never actually going to question power.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. They know they're safe. They know they're not going to get shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the Australian coverage better than the American? I would say it's probably worse.
Yeah.
The Australian news is such a monopoly, and all the alternative ones are kind of not the alternative ones, but the ones that aren't the big Murdoch-owned news sites. I'd say they're terrified of the Murdoch-owned newspapers, so they don't say anything really out of line.
Yeah. I mean, when was what is it? Shireen Abu Akleh? What was her name? The Palestinian journalist who was shot, and then they at her funeral, the police raided her funeral. You remember her?
Yeah, I do.
And this is not. She wasn't shot during, because everything started on October 7th. Somehow she was shot before that.
Janine. She's in the West Bank.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. Like, it's just pretending that this war was started by Hamas.
Yeah,
They've been fucking murdering.
US citizen as well.
Yeah. No one gives a shit. No, I mean, they didn't do anything.
What?
The US.
And then when people do talk about it, which I guess is probably a decent segue onto the next one, which is when people just mention the fact that journalists are being killed, they lose their jobs.
This is the craziest story.
So this is down in Melbourne. There was this pianist, Jason Gillum. Apparently he's a really big deal. I don't follow the classical music scene, but apparently he's a really big deal. Australian English pianist. And he played a song which was written by another composer, and that song was called Witness. And the song was composed and dedicated to the journalists who have lost their lives. And as he's playing his concert, before he plays that song, which he previously asked, can I play this song? And they said yes.
Well, they commissioned him to do it.
No, they didn't commission him. The song was commissioned for that, but he went out and chose this song. Before he played that song, he read out this statement.
Over the last 10 months, Israel has killed more than 100 Palestinian journalists. A number of these have been targeted assassinations of prominent journalists as they were traveling in marked press vehicles or wearing their press jackets. The killing of journalists is a war crime in international law, and it is done in an effort to prevent the documentation and broadcasting of war crimes to the world. In addition to the role of journalists who bear witness, the word witness in Arabic is shaheed, which also means martyr.
Then he played the song, and a bunch of people complained, mostly donors. They pulled out money, and then the MSO, the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, cancelled his upcoming gigs. And so that's what happens if you...
That's the end of a career.
Just mentioning the fact that...
And it's not like a contentious thing. It's like these people have been killed. Like this is true.
Yeah,
like he's not speculating.
But
he's
it's also like Amnesty and very, very accepted center kind of organizations are saying the same thing. And you're just not even allowed to mention it.
I think it's just very funny because what's the actual Melbourne Symphony Orchestra approved this.
Yeah.
That's the best part. They were like, go ahead, like this is really cool. Do this thing with like a humanitarian twist to it, like whatever. And then they turn around and like, oh no, actually you're a disgrace. This is disgusting. We don't stand for this. And it's just like, well, no, you don't stand for losing money. That's the only thing you don't.
And then subsequently, they put out this statement saying it was not an approved statement. Blah blah blah. It needs to be a safe space for all people coming. And then
it needs to be a safe space for people who want to kill journalists.
Yeah,
they're feeling targeted here.
And then other musicians have said that they're not going to play at the hall anymore. Everyone's favorite Cat Empire said that they're not going to play. And then other musicians... Because they've fired. Because they cancelled his contract. And then the staff at MSO also did a vote of no confidence ahead. And now they've come out and said it was a mistake to cancel his contract. So it's like...
Well, man, it's so funny that's like... That's what it takes to like reverse one of these decisions. It's like every single famous person and every worker being like, fuck you.
What I find interesting about it, though, is just it's so obvious that was going to be the response. And then they still fired him in the first place. So it kind of shows the panic at which they respond to donors pulling out money.
Yeah.
The donors pull out money. They don't go, how should we respond? What will happen? They just go, oh, God, okay. He's never performing again. He's never performing again.
Give me the money. Today they shot her in the back. Yeah, this is what we're covering here. We can't show the video, but yeah. Yeah, it's so fucked. It's just like there is literally no room to talk about this stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
Journalists die, and that's just completely normal.
Except on Twitch, apparently.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos has our back.
Yeah.
Elon Musk likes to think he's a free speech warrior.
Bezos.
You can't talk about this as much on Twitter as you can on Twitch.com.
Thank you, Bezos.
Anti-Semitic gays. Yeah, Germany's a whole other story. They're so fucking weird.
Get some Bezos emote.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys have them? I guess you've got this. That actually looks a lot like him. Do you ever even know what Twitch is? Yeah, I think that's probably part of it as well. He's got his own. He just likes to make money. Did you all announce we were live? Oh, sorry, we didn't. Okay, everyone,
We're live.
we're live right now. Come
Rolling.
on in. Okay. Well, let's move on to the other news. Okay. This is for you.
This is for me to talk about.
I think you're the expert here.
So as you can read, Elon Musk shutting down operations in Brazil. It's kind of there's been like this ongoing.
Oh my god, he's fucking hideous.
Yeah, he's that's why he's pulling out because
everyone's hot.
Everyone's really hot in Brazil. So apparently, there's been this ongoing kind of back and forth between them that the Brazil after Lula came in, the judges there have been trying to crack down on like the Bolsonaro supporters who are engaged in all this like active misinformation stuff during the election, but then also subsequently and involved in that coup attempt. And they're using social media.
Was that on January 6th as well? Or
day before?
January 5th. That's so funny.
It was very close. And then but then also the crazy thing, after Lula's been elected, there's been so much like fear about school shootings spreading throughout Brazil. There have been these accounts which name themselves.
Have there been lots of school shootings?
No. But they've been posting videos of school shootings and saying, this is going to happen at your school. This is going to happen at your school. There's going to be these attacks at your school. Apparently in some states, 20% of students were pulled out of schools because of how real these fears were.
What the fuck?
It just seems like these weird accelerationist, right-wing memers are spreading this shit and they're enjoying the response.
Yeah.
The Brazilian courts are trying to persecute these guys and get them banned, and X is refusing to do that. X has been refusing to do it. They've been agreeing in some cases, then backing out again. It seems like when Brazil, just the Brazilian branch of Twitter were involved, they were more receptive with it. And then Elon Musk is like, no.
Is he Bolsonaro getting attacked by bees?
No, that sounds great.
It's so good as well.
Good.
And I think the disgraced former president. It's beautiful. You can see the bees when they go through. And the speech ends as you leave it. It's like, I find it really funny for like the kind of like right wing, like potentially like religious candidate and stuff, like to have all of like Noah's fucking all what do they call it?
He's like an anti Sleeping Beauty. or Snow White. Who's the Cinderella, the princess with all the animals that wake her up in the forest and stuff
like
like
all the animals.
He's like an anti one. Yeah, all of God's creatures want to kill him.
Locusts, fucking all the Amazon was on fire. Like, if you're a Catholic Brazilian,
they were starting the fires,
though. Clearly the Antichrist.
They were starting the fires. He was like saying, no, there's nothing wrong with burning down the Amazon.
That sounds like devil speak to me.
But it's crazy.
And now he's just covered in locusts.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how it's like it seems like there's like a online strategy of tension going on, and then the government's trying to do something about it, and Elon's like, no. So now there was apparently rumors that some Twitter employees were going to be charged with contempt of court or breaching justice or something like that. And in response, Elon said, we're pulling out of Brazil. Which is probably good.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just find it weird. Like, all these strange, like, Brazil conspiracy theories we've been seeing coming up. It's just like, I don't know. It's just that they have no grounding in anything that I understand.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, Lula coming back was kind of like a victory for the Brazilian judicial system. Like, considering he fucking went to prison when, Moro, I think is the name of the Sergio Moro.
Yeah.
Were the judge that was kind of presiding over Lula's case was
Lava Yato.
Oh, the washing.
Operation Car Wash. Or something like that.
It turns out that he was working directly with the prosecution to put a fucking leader of the country in jail, which is, just kind of like the highest form of corruption you can get.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was overturned, which is nice. But now they're like pretending that like, oh, actually, now is when the corruption starts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really bad. Really bad.
Yeah, Weibo. Yeah, Weibo into Brazil. That's all we need.
Have you heard Lula's voice? I think he sounds a bit like RFK. To be honest, I think he sounds a little bit like RFK.
Lula.
People are going to get angry at me. I think he's got a slightly strange voice.
Wait, can we put him on?
That's how he sounds.
Wait, I like this. He already pulled out of Brazil, fired a lot of people, and left only about 30 people. Now he ended everything. It's like that's what he did in America as well. Like he's not pulling out of Brazil. He just doesn't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
He's like, all these people who are employed cost money.
Yeah.
How about we don't employ anyone?
How about we replace them with Grok?
Yeah.
Let's replace them with Grok.
Nah, Grok's woke, man. that's the issue. Lula speech.
Hey, look, I like Lula. I think he's better than anyone else they have.
Gives you
He's
the
good
power
looking.
of AI.
Lula.
But I think his voice is a bit funny.
Oh, that's the thing about Lula being good looking. We didn't even announce our bloody plan for the day.
No, well, you just didn't put any effort into announcing it when I'm on. When Alex is on, though, then you promote it.
Yeah, you're right. What's going on? I'm a bit discombobulated. So today we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We're covering the news now. We still got a lot more news to go through. Then we got a little game, another tier list, but this time we're getting actually political. No more like Elon Musk tweets or assassinations. Like we're getting into real politics.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a tier list of the hottest political world leaders, political figures,
historical
in history.
Or now.
So if there are any world leaders that you're personally very attracted to, let us know when we get on there because we'll be ranking them all
I just
together.
saw someone mention David Pocock. He should definitely be on our list. We have to look at David Pocock.
Okay, well, we'll get back into it later. Black Jesus also very hot. Olaf Palmer. Okay. Okay.
Hold it. Hold the phone,
Chewing line
guys.
definitely has tier,
We're
but
coming up.
We're not doing it yet.
Hold the phone.
Okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. This is a good Lula speech, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, there we go.
Eu vou atender o mandato deles. E vou atender porque eu quero fazer a transferência de responsabilidade. Eles acham que tudo que acontece nesse país acontece por minha causa.
Wait, he was a guerrilla fighter as well, or was that just Dilma Rousseff?
Yeah, no, he was a union leader.
Oh.
Oh, like a union activist. I don't know if he was guerrilla.
It was Dilma.
I think Dilma was the guerrilla
fighter.
one, yeah.
And she had her fingers fucking ripped off in torture.
She had a lot worse done as well.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Fucking terrifying. But, I mean, maybe it's good, actually, as you're saying. Maybe it's good, but I feel like this is just like PR loss for Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to look like they're censorship
But
people.
I don't think like the center establishment that would criticize that type of censorship from Lula, they don't like
wanna do it.
Musk.
No.
They don't like Musk. So they're going to come in and back Musk in this. Like I think the only people who are going to support this are like fucking Milei and stuff like that, who just that love Elon Musk and hate all the other hate.
Can
Lula.
Can Milei bring more Twitter into Argentina?
Replace TV?
Yeah, just make
Twitter.
it just Twitter. I think it'd be a great idea. Also, if we're doing hot or not tier list of world leaders, Milei.
Yep.
Know where he's going?
No.
Oh
No one even suggested Milei. I'm surprised. He's a stud. But Australia's going, we're getting into some fight with Elon Musk as well about censorship.
Really?
Yeah. There was that, after that stabbing of the
Archbishop, or just whatever. No, he was the
priest, something or other. Australia wanted to censor that footage being distributed, and they did. Like, again, Twitter did. It looks like the local officers are more ready to comply with this stuff, and then
because they
somehow
operate like a normal platform.
And then Musk sees it on his Twitter feed and goes, "What? We're gonna show everyone this kid stabbing a priest. Let's do it. Everyone must see."
He sees his favorite account, "Kill All Jews at Malaysia."
Yeah,
and he's just like, "What?
Interesting.
Okay, it's like congested Alex.
Me,
Bro,
or Lula?
Alex's whole brain is congested. Okay, all right, let's go on to the next story.
The priest is a bit of a nutcase. That's what I've heard as well.
Which priest?
The guy who got stabbed.
Oh yeah. Well, he was in a
weird
splintered version of an already niche church.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was disrobed. Which is
defrocked. Defrocked is what they call him.
Much less.
I hope
hot
I don't
than it
get
actually
defrocked.
is. It's like it sounds much hotter than it is. He has been defrocked.
Yeah. Get that frock off. They took his clothes. You know how like when a cop loses his job, they have to give their badge and their gun and all that stuff? When a priest gets defrocked and they lose their job, they
take it all off.
Take it all off, put it on the table,
They
walk out
of
butt
church
naked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Hurt in your frock.
Get the frock out of here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're talking about Serbia now. This is from Declassified UK. So in 1999, NATO was bombing Serbia.
Really?
Yeah. Fun times. I remember watching it on the news as a little kid. It was very, very great thing to experience. But it was to protect the people of Kosovo who were getting ethnically cleansed by the Yugoslav military. Anyway,
What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. It's like, I don't know, kind of things just kind of happen sometimes, you know. But anyway, NATO bombing Yugoslavia. They did like a bunch of war crimes during this bombing campaign. Lasted 9 months.
Did they bomb the Chinese?
They bombed the Chinese embassy.
Yep.
Which is a big deal. Everyone in China got angry.
Yep.
Everyone in China.
That's a lot of people to get angry as well.
Got angry. Yeah. But another one. I mean, they did so many. They bombed like bridges, fucking public transport. Like they just killed they essentially only killed civilians in that conflict.
Well, that's the thing. If it was going on in Kosovo, why were they bombing Serbia? Because isn't the idea that wouldn't you be bombing like the front lines to stop the fighting as opposed to bombing Serbia? Because that is just the civilians then you're going for.
Well, no, I think it's terrorism. It's like you want to create a condition where people are so scared that they'll topple their own government to reach the kind of geopolitical goals that NATO is looking for.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that well. I mean, it did eventually. You cut off the logistics line. I mean, I guess so, but I don't know what like a news station or a passenger train or like a kid's bedroom. Like that's. I mean, kid's bedroom might be kind of logistical
because that kid could grow up to be a soldier.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You're bombing the reserves then.
Jared Kushner's building that hotel. Oh, That's right. This fucking
What
killed me.
an ugly guy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ. Wait, we'll go back to this one. We'll talk about Jared Kushner. That hotel fucking, I hate it so much. So anyway, they had a repeating kind of PR like trajectory, I guess, with every single time they killed civilians in this conflict, which was like every single day. It would be a weird like thing. It'd be like, we have these very precise munitions. We're in a new stage of like war where everything's super smart and we know what we're doing. But also this was an accident. And that was just the constant repeating like phrase that kept like, oh, well, we didn't know, like, oh, whatever, this just happens. But recently, Tony Blair's lawyer from the time has spoken out about how they did know. he was kind of like, I was Tony Blair's lawyer. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, here we go. Well, this one wasn't accidental. Blair said that the bombing of the television station was entirely justified since it was part of the apparatus of dictatorship and power of Milosevic. I mean, that's also why Israel kills journalists.
Yeah, exactly.
Al Jazeera.
Legitimate target. These guys are making us look bad. Stop.
Exactly. He was privately warned by Britain's most senior lawyer about bombing civilian targets, including the RTS building, Radio Television Serbia. So, like, he knew completely the stakes and like what he was doing was wrong, and he's like, well, we should do it anyway because our goal is terrorism. Yeah. And we'll just say it's fine. And you get the thing is when you're, especially in the 90s, that when there's like when we're really seeing the stage of like Western hegemony, Soviet Union's gone, like there's no other competitors. That is like the best point to be doing this stuff. Because it doesn't matter what Amnesty International says. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter now, but it mattered even less back then. But yeah. Interesting to wait 25 years.
25. I was just thinking that. I was like, dude,
when are you about to die?
When they do this stuff, do they like have an agreement and we're not going to talk about it for 25 years? Because it's just like saying something at the time when you've actually got an ability to affect what's happening around you. No, I didn't say anything. But then 25 years later, I said something. Century. It's been on my mind. It's been on my mind. I had some pretty serious doubts back then.
Yeah. What's nuts about this is that it was so fucked. So it was just full of like fucking journalists and just normal people who work in a media office.
Yeah. They
found like, I think one of the makeup artist's hands in like a park on the other side. Well, this is actually right next to a park, but they found it like out on the other side of the park. It's so nuts. It's just like, whatever though. Like I'm not going to pretend that there's like a correct way to do a war. Like they're obviously, this is what's expected. Whenever they say they're going to intervene in a country, this is what's happening.
It's humanitarian in the fact that like their soldiers aren't seeing what they're doing as they're flying over.
Yeah, exactly.
It's humanitarian because they don't know. They could just be like dropping seeds on a field. It could be watering plants flying over. But no, it's bombs and depleted uranium.
There's this funny meme from like really early YouTube that I don't want to show because I think it's not graphic, but it's like I think you do see someone dying in a sense.
It sounds graphic.
It was called Serbia's Fastest Man. And because of all these like precision guided missiles have like cameras on them and you watch the feed as it's going towards whatever the target is. And I think this was like a fucking like medicine factory or some bullshit. And you can see from the view of the missile of it coming down and you see a guy notice and starts sprinting like so fast, just like you gotta get the little lols from such a horrible situation.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's not a little lol at all.
No.
Again with the edgy jokes. Edgy jokes from Alexa.
They're also using depleted uranium. Another favorite. Phosphorus. Oh, that's what you said. Sorry.
I said that.
Does Alex have Benjamin Button's disease? He does, but the twist is his dick gets bigger too.
Why didn't you put you should have put Features Lucas in the the title. No, you should have.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, that's what we get. Oh, but Jared Kushner's thing is so fucked. So the one thing I really appreciate, about Belgrade and like the decisions made by I guess the local councils and things is that like a lot of the time they kept up some of the more tragic examples of this NATO bombing campaign. So a a lot of the different buildings that were destroyed, they just left them like that. They left them like that as like kind of like a constant reminder. Yeah, and then I guess eventually, 20 years on, you want to appeal to global capital. You want to be a marketable modern city where people will invest, and part of that is getting rid of these things. Getting rid of these things, replace them with hotels.
Yeah,
and this is not a very apt comparison. It's probably also just like a bit offensive, but to me, it reminds me of like a cliche domestic abuse situation from like 50 years ago, where someone, your partner beats the shit out of you, and then they look at your face and they say, "Put on some fucking makeup. I think you're hideous." They bomb the shit out of this city.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, we're not going to invest in you if you look
this
like
place
that.
is a shithole.
Yeah, come on.
What the fuck,
Clean
guys?
this up.
You guys can't look after yourself.
Yeah, you've made a roast dinner. I've come home drunk and I fucking smashed and thrown it everywhere. And then you've let it kind of stay like that. You're disgusting. I hate you. Sorry, that's
a horrible analogy, but I see what you mean.
That's what I felt when I saw this, when I saw the kind of hotel project. It's just like there's no winning. Like they'll pummel you and then they'll like shame you for looking like shit and like be like, you got to do a bit better if you want our business.
Yeah. But then this getting Jared Kushner to do it.
This is such a scam.
That's a fucking bribe to Trump. Surely.
Yeah.
Vucic reckons Trump's going to win.
Yeah.
So you're buttering up Kushner. And he looks like he's been buttered up enough. Look at this guy.
He's a buttery boy.
Completely shiny
head.
And yellow.
And the thing is, like, I mean, Kushner is probably like, by Serbian standards, a very reputable businessman. Like, they do such nuts stuff in there. Like right down the road from that hotel that he's building now.
Yeah.
There was this place. It was like really cute, really quaint, like waterside, like kind of like old buildings, bohemian area, and they wanted to make these giant apartment developments there with the Saudis. And so all the kind of locals who lived there, they were like, well, no, this place is really nice, and I want to stay here, and all the nice stuff is here. And then just like people burst in the middle of the night in balaclavas and beat the shit out of the people who lived there, and forced them to sign these documents that said that their houses were not theirs anymore. And it's like, you know, I think Jared Kushner, even though he's really fucked, he's probably got actually no, he's going to do the same shit. He'll do whatever they can, where they can.
Yeah, like he'll be relying on the same contract, local employee, stuff like that, to do all this work.
Yeah,
they would have the exact same connections.
Belgrade on the body is what we're talking about. Yeah,
he's not bringing a bunch of American laborers to come and work on it, and all these subcontractors from New York to come work on this. He'll be relying on those same corrupt networks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like they're going to get away with. They're going to do whatever they can get away with wherever they are. So any kind of business is it's like a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And now that Belgrade on the Water is the shittest place in Belgrade. It is so bad. It's like Rhodes. I don't know what an international example of that is.
I like Rhodes. Rhodes is nice. I think they've done a good job with Rhodes.
This is like a really
big W for Rhodes. That's
big
what I
W
say.
for Rhodes. They don't have a big W. But yeah, it's just like this super sterile, just like apartment complex, and there's no food anywhere. It's like you've got little like boutique cafes like you might get in Australia, but like what used to be there was like hundreds of fucking bakeries and restaurants and nice things, and like now you're just like walking through just like an endless aisle of just like modern apartments and like there's nothing. I don't know. It's so depressing. I wonder what this $500 million hotel is. How much money do you really need to build a hotel? Like what is it?
I've got no idea. I've never built a hotel before.
What have you built? Have you built anything similar?
I built IKEA furniture. I purchased from Rhodes IKEA.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, how expensive was that?
Not that much. Like probably you can get a bed for like $200 or something like that.
Okay. How many beds are in a hotel?
There's probably a lot of beds in a hotel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think some of this money it's a bribe. I don't know why we're trying to think of any other reasons.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking bribe.
I love how you never mention that Alexander Vucic is a massive nationalist piece of shit. Do you think I love Vucic? I'm like, oh man, I can't say it because like I know they want me to, but like fuck, man, I love
keep it.
I love Vucic.
Yeah.
You got me, dude. He's just so good. And like all these anecdotes I just gave about all the fuck situation in Serbia. Obviously, I'm not talking about him because he's great, and I'm not brave enough to stand up against him.
He's big and tall as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very
really tall.
His family's from Bugojno. What? Cool. Anyway. Lebendauer Enterprise joint from Jack Reacher. No idea what it is. Sounds awfully similar. I mean, I think the way Vucic operates is that like pretty much 50% of Serbia is in his patronage network right now.
Yeah.
So like we might as well be part of the same family.
But you're not in Serbia anymore.
No.
So you've somehow missed out on the bills. You should go back and get
some money.
Get part of it.
Get a job.
Now that you're a big streamer, I'm sure that you could be providing some PR for it.
Royal cottages are catered to the Chinese tourists. Fuck yeah. We need more of them. Oh, that's so beautiful. I didn't even know that. They rebuilt the embassy into the Sino-Serbia Friendship Center.
Very nice.
That's so beautiful. The Americans are going to bomb it next time as well.
2 birds, 1 stone. Great.
All right, let's get into more fun news. Apparently the world is fat. We got the fat. We're in fat world now.
Yeah.
You know how there are like parallel universes and you get transported? We're the ones that people get transported to when they go like, oh, what if it was Earth but everyone was fat? That's
today.
We're in that universe.
We got transferred already. Wally. How do you say that?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
Wally. That movie name. Yeah. They're all fat in it.
Oh, really?
They're all really fat in it. You haven't seen it?
No.
They're all on this fucking ship going through space, and everyone's really fat. They're all just like too comfortable.
Oh, because they've got robots doing all
Robots do everything, and they just sit in lounges and eat food and do all this stuff. Tell us about this article.
Okay, fine. I haven't actually read it. I just saw that we were
just
fat.
like the headline. What's the fattest country?
Well,
the horrible thing is it's the islands.
Yeah.
Pacific Islands.
American Samoa, number 1. Tonga, number 2. Nauru, number 3. Cook Islands, fucking hell.
With the place is called Cook Islands. Obviously, you're going to be eating a lot of food.
Yeah,
it's Cook Islands.
That's the island.
Let's cook these islands up, huh?
Oh my god! I mean, it is very sad for these Pacific Island nations where they just got completely like ran over by colonialism.
Well, why is that? Is that because of they have to?
Yeah.
There's nothing. And Nauru doesn't even have any land anymore. Big hole. They have to.
They have to hide the refugees somewhere.
Yeah, import everything.
Yeah, it's nuts. They have to import everything. Like obviously, all their like native production is wiped out. So they're just eating stuff, and they're eating like processed foods that like only got introduced literally like 2 generations ago.
Like the Saudis are getting pretty high up as well, and that's probably they also have to.
But with them, I don't understand about the Saudis. Are they tracking the like Filipino and Indian migrants who are slaves in Saudi Arabia? Because they're probably not getting fat.
No. Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't. They would be working all the time.
Yeah, true. You don't have time.
It's the big Saudis who don't work. It's like
it's also survival bias because it's the thin ones are the only ones that survive. When the stadium collapses and the crane comes, chances of getting hit is reduced by being emaciated.
Yeah. And where else is big? South Africa. That's a nice little oasis of
Western values.
Western values that are left behind.
I want more information. Wait, what's happening? What are we looking at? Global prevalence of adult malnourishment by sex. More women are obese, but more men are underweight. Is that what they're saying? Man, all those men's rights activists were right.
What? Women are getting...
Women are secretly fat.
Feminism is making them fat.
Exactly.
They are getting more unattractive.
Back in my day, women used to be hot.
Women were skinny and men were fat. And now men are skinny and women are fat. What's the problem?
Yeah. It's BMI. Is that what it is? Oh, yeah.
Because, aren't women naturally a bit...
Yeah.
Like more of the...
Yeah.
Like we've got more muscle or something like that. That's more of our weight.
I don't understand these numbers.
understand.
Also, less men are underweight now than they were before.
Yeah, that's good. Progress. Good work, everyone.
And less girls.
Come on. Boo. Girls, pick up. You need to carry your weight.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, I think there's a pretty clear implication of this.
Whenever you see this, because what if they attribute it to anything?
Oh, let's see.
Is there anything we can read in this article and be like, why is it like this?
So many people are struggling with their weight shows that obesity is more than a matter of dietary willpower. True.
And
the human body has evolved to survive winters and famines. It is designed to cling on to body weight and will resist efforts to lose it. A superabundance of cheap, ultra-processed foods has also triggered overeating, just as lifestyles have become more sedentary. Weight loss drugs are starting to arrive, but remain prohibitively expensive for most. That's the issue. The weight loss drugs are too expensive.
Ozempic.
More drugs.
More Ozempic. Send Ozempic out to Nauru. Send Ozempic out to American Tonga. We got to get them looking hot again.
If we had world communism, all the Ozempic would be in Nauru right now. To each according to their need. Yeah.
And they need it.
They need it bad. Baby. With time, they may start to help countries nibble away at their obesity. It's not about, this is insane to be like, there's a public health issue that's like universal. It's worldwide, created by capitalism. What we need is more private businesses to also sell the mirror image of this product to even it out. It's like, no.
There's a reason that all the food is so shit, and that's what everyone wants to sell. Yeah.
It's because you want people to be addicted to shit, and you want to make it with the cheapest, worst ingredients you can. And it's like, obviously this is going to happen.
But weight loss as well is just so individualized the way everyone talks about it. It's just like behaviors that you should be doing.
Better. You've got to
more education so that more people can do these things themselves and stop being stupid, stop being lazy, eat better.
It's so lame.
So stupid and wrong.
So we can't allow a calorie gap. We solved obesity by making food too expensive. That's so silly. Ozempic is a miracle drug for real.
Apparently it's good for diabetes.
Well, yeah, I think that was the initial use for it.
Well, I agree, poor plumber. I think walkable cities are a massive part of it as well.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I don't want to do walkable cities because that requires public ownership of things and public planning of cities, and you need to invest in trains and public transport. It's much easier to just privatize all transport.
Yeah. So much better.
It's not it's not the city, the social responsibility to make sure that people can get places. You have to buy a car and you have to do all the things.
And if you don't, you're a fucking loser.
And pay for it. Pay for it. Buy petrol. Pay.
Oh, God. What freaked me out, though, because I thought livable cities, like walkable cities, was what everyone wanted. That's why I was confused. I was like,
no, it's communism. That's woke communism. You're being forced.
They're tracking you and keeping you in a gated.
What we all want is cars and highways. That's what we want. But these bloody communists are trying to give us trees.
Yeah, disgusting. But also, what's so annoying is that these conservatives who are against the 10-minute cities, you always fucking laugh and fantasize about like a village community and the old way of life. And it's like, as soon as there's any policy that could potentially bring that to you, you realize, no, what you actually are is a fucking buffoon who does whatever big business tells them to do.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't actually care about villages. You don't actually care about community.
This is what I always say. It's like the most annoying thing of trying to read what right-wingers talk about is there is no consistency.
No.
They don't have any. The only ones who have ideology are the fascists. They actually have a consistent ideology that they apply to things. The rest of these conservatives, they're just saying no. You're just saying no, but actually no, you're not being sensible, you're not being realistic
Fascists
here. No.
For the future.
They do. They've got an alternative idea of the future. It's evil and horrible, but at least it's an idea.
Yeah. All these other ones are just like, I don't like this because it's against traditional values. And then when you try to bring things into like more community-based stuff, they're like, I don't like this because
we've got to be modern and efficient. And like, there's all these things going on. Yep.
Yeah, it's so gross. I hate it. I thought this was the one thing that everyone could agree on.
Yeah.
Just like...
Well, we agree. We're on the same page about this.
The fascist and the...
The fascist and it's the horseshoe theory. You're the
Vucic
communist.
He's a communist.